On this channel, we absolutely love a realistic rebuild, but that leaves me with an idea. Why don't we rebuild someone and make every single signing as unrealistic as possible? Well, today we take charge of Leeds United, who, well, are struggling in the Premier League. We need to take charge of Leeds, steady the ship, and ultimately make them the champions of Europe, but we can only do this by making unrealistic signings, and I have got no clue what to expect. So here we go with Leeds United. Sorry. Got to be said though, that is probably one of the best club anthems in football. Now, we're loading into actually a pretty decent team. Unfortunately losing one of our best players, Anton Stack, to an injury which will miss 3 weeks of the season. And this is a complete new concept on the channel. I've never done a specifically unrealistic rebuild before. Now, it's not hard to make a career mode unrealistic in FC26, let me tell you. But we always do realistic rebuilds on this channel, which means I don't actually get a chance to use some of the best players in the game. But there'll be no signings in season number 1, boys. Transfers are banned for the first season, and we are stuck with the squad we have got. But I have to say, it isn't actually too bad of a squad. We've got an excellent goalkeeper in 81 rated Lucas Perry. We already know Anton Stack's a great player. My only concern is the highest rated outfield player is 79 rated, and then the rest of the squad are below 77 rated. So what that says to me is, although this is a decent team on paper, it's definitely a championship standard squad, and it's clear to see that is showing in the Premier League, as Leeds currently sit in the relegation zone with Manchester City coming up in game. However, at the time of recording, Leeds have shown a little bit of fight back. They were excellent against City in the second half, losing 3-2, and they got an excellent win over rivals Chelsea 3-1 at home. I bet Ellen Road was absolutely bouncing. But the first thing we're going to be doing is switching up how we're playing and the formation. We've got a lot of players in this team who are actually at a position. Aronson's on the right wing, Okafor's on the left wing. I'm thinking I might look to go for a formation with 2 CDMs and 2 strikers, which does kind of limit us on what we can actually do. So we've switched the formation up, lads, and I am doing something I don't normally do. We are going with a 3 at the back formation. 3-5-2 with 2 CDMs and attacking midfielder. This formation allows us to get our 2 best strikers on the pitch in Mecha and Okafor, and I'm actually going to be starting Nonto at attacking midfield. And I think our team just looks that little bit more solid with this formation. But with transfers banned in season 1, there's not really a lot we can do. But we can pick a play style. I'm going with the counter-attack system just until we get some better players into the team. When we do get some better players into the team, I may look to go to a more expansive style of play. And if you guys could help me expand my channel, I would be very grateful. Please, if you enjoy the videos, drop a like, subscribe, really helps me out. We're so close to 10k. It's like someone's dangling it in front of me like this. Now, if you're new to the channel, something we always do is let you guys decide where we send our youth scouts. And I know this is an unrealistic rebuild. I'm still going to keep it in because you guys love it. And for this season, we are going to go with this comment. We are going to be scouting Nigeria, specifically looking for the next JJ Okocha. And if you don't already know, I'm actually a Bolton fan, and even this scouting request is unrealistic because there'll never be another better than JJ. And before we progress any further, I am going to give you boys a really good tip. If you want your players to always be fit and always be sharp, copy this training plan: 70, 80, 80, 70. Trust me, you will thank me. Your players will always be sharp all across the squad and will always have decent fitness. So we can't bring any incomings in season 1, so we are just going to be locking the starting 11 in for the first season. Hopefully we've got enough to stay in the Premier League, but there is a really big possibility that we will go down this season, which I can't lie, I really don't want us to do. And as far as first games go as Leeds United, boss, it doesn't get much worse. An away trip to the Etihad. However, Leeds did lose this game in real life, so it's a bit of a free hit for me, but I would snatch your hand off for a point. And I can't lie, I'm pretty nervous for this game. City's first time coming forward, and Doku is flying into the area. Great tackle by Bivol Law. Get a foot in. That's going to be a goal. What a save by Perry. Oh my god. Backs to the wall stuff here, boys. Whipped in. That's going to be a free header for Ireland, but Perry takes it off his head. Good man. Goodmanson in acres. Good cross here and we score. Made a Mecha just wide. Massive chance. So unlucky to not take the lead. And the first half would end at 0-0, but a really encouraging start, especially on the left-hand side. So second half about to start, boys. I can't lie, I'm encouraged by what I've seen. That's really good play by City, though. Ireland rained us from distance. Easy save for Perry. Just off the way this game's gone, I'll be disappointed if we don't win it, because we've been by far the better side. Good ball to Doku, who's actually in behind here. Great tackle by Ampadu. That is a goal-saving challenge from our captain. Hero. Mecha. No way. Nyonto's in. 10 minutes to go. He's got to score. He's got to score. Nyonto. Oh no, he's saved. And Metro, oh my god, with 10 minutes to go, that had to go in. And that would be full time, a very impressive performance and a 0-0 draw. Could we look back to rue that Nyonto miss at the end of the season? So we have arrived at the end of the first season and Premier League survival was our goal, but has it been achieved? Of course it has. We have finished 16th in the Premier League, ultimately finishing 8 points above the drop zone, where Wolves, Burnley and Fulham all relegate to the Championship. Us and Sunderland stay up. 11 wins from 38 games I am happy with. 19 losses however and only 41 goals scored. They are some of the worst stats in the entire league. Just going to show the next transfer window is going to be pivotal. In the FA Cup we would reach the 5th round and lose to arch rivals Chelsea 2-1 at home. That would not go down well with the Leeds faithful. And this is how the Leeds United team is looking at the end of the first season. We've seen some decent growth in multiple areas. We are gonna have to bring some new signings in next season. We've also had quite a few players hand in transfer requests, the likes of Strout, Joel Pirro, Dan James and a few others all want to leave the club, so we're probably going to have a high turnover of players in the next season. I'm not going to label out individual positions to improve. We're going to be looking to improve our attack, our midfield and our defence next season. But you do know, boys, that signing unrealistic players for Leeds with probably what's going to be the smallest budget in the division, that is not going to be easy at all. Now at the end of the season we are losing Sam Byram and Alex Kearns. They are both retiring, and in terms of stats we were dreadful in front of goal. Our top scorer was actually Joel Pirro because he got 5 goals in 3 games in the FA Cup. So we have now arrived in season 2 and thankfully we've got £58 million in the bank, so we should be able to make multiple unrealistic signings for Leeds. And we have made our first signing as Leeds United boss. The big question is it an unrealistic signing? As we bring former Leeds United man Jorginho Rutter back to the club from Brighton for £27.5 million. Now Rutter is 24-year-old, 80 rated. He is a fantastic player. We all know how much he loves Leeds United, but he is an established starting player for Brighton who are challenging for Europe most seasons. Leeds are likely to be in a relegation battle. For that reason, I don't think he would move back to Ellen Road, so I think this signing's unrealistic. However, if we were a top half club, I think he would jump at the chance to come back to Leeds. And we have also had Mateo Joseph come back from his loan in Spain. He's 22-year-old and 75 rated. Do you know what? I'm actually going to put him straight into the starting 11. He's definitely got a better potential than the likes of Pirro and Mecha and probably even Okafor as well. So let's get him into the starting 11 and get him growing as quick as possible. Now, as we know, last season we did have a bit of an issue with players handing in transfer requests, and that has ultimately made us lose 3 players that I didn't really want to lose. We've had to sell Tanaka, Struijk and Bogle, which actually significantly weakens our starting 11. We've also sold Isaac Smith, loaned out Sam Chambers and sold Joe Gellert to Southampton. On the plus side, that leaves us with 71 million to improve the rest of the team, and I'm thinking a new centre-back and right midfielder will be on the cards, and with a massive amount of money I think we can make some unrealistic signings. And our second signing of the rebuild has been completed. Trust me, this one is definitely unrealistic, as we complete the signing of Everton superstar Jared Branthwaite for £34 million. Branthwaite is 24-year-old, 81 rated, left-footed and 6'5". He is an amazing player, going to be really strong in the centre of our back three, and I think if Branthwaite leaves Everton to sign for anyone in England, it's going to be a top 6 Premier League club. That is once he gets over his injury issues. I don't think Leeds would have any chance of signing him in real life, so I think this transfer is unrealistic. Now, before we make our final unrealistic signing of the season, and trust me, it's the most unrealistic one yet, we have sold James Justin and Jack Harrison, and our third and final signing of the transfer window is completed, as we complete the signing of Bournemouth superstar and starman Antoine Semenyo, £34 million. By far our most exciting signing today is 82 rated, 26-year-old, 6'1" with outstanding stats. If Antoine Semenyo leaves Bournemouth, a bit like Branthwaite, he's going to a top 6 Premier League club or one of Europe's biggest and best teams. So I think the 3 signings we have made are unrealistic, but do you guys think they're unrealistic? Let me know in the comment section down below. I'm really interested to see what you think and if you actually like this concept. But how do these new signings affect our squad for season number 2? Well, this is how the team's going to be looking heading into the new season. We only scored 41 goals last season, so we've brought in Semenyo and Rutter to help add some goals to the team. We've also brought in Jared Branthwaite, who is an amazing defender, to hopefully stop us leaking so many goals. This starting 11 is locked in for the new season. I'm confident we will not get relegated, and we do also have a good bench with some really decent rotation options going into the new season. Now it's time to do some youth scouting for this season. We will be going with this comment. We are going to be scouting Algeria. We're going to be looking for strikers while we're over in North Africa, just because I'm a little bit concerned that our current strikers don't have the best potential. And our first game of season number 2 is an away trip to Crystal Palace, and I can't lie, with our new look squad, I'm confident we can go here and get a result. So the first game of season number 2 is now underway at Selhurst Park. Really excited to use this new look Leeds United team. Hopefully we can get the points. Jonto's in, that's a great ball. Nope. Jonto, what a save by Dean Henderson. 10 minutes in though, we've already made our first chance of the game. Stack with a corner. Freda for Rodon off the bar. Shoot, Joseph blocked. Oh, how have we not scored? Palace coming forward again. Ball through to Eze. And it's 1-0 to Crystal Palace. After such a promising start, we have gifted them a goal. Ruter, former Brighton man, skips past Adam Wharton. Edge of the area. Ruter with a shot off the crossbar again. We've hit the bar twice in this first half. Stack. Great ball. And Okafor's in. This has to be the equaliser. It is 1-1 on the stroke of half time. That is absolutely deserved. Okafor gets us back in the game. And that would be half time. 1-1 at the break. A really entertaining game at Selhurst Park so far. I'm confident we can get a winner here. I'm really confident we're going to get a winner. And Palace just boot the ball straight out for a goal kick to us. This formation is really working. We're all over Palace. That's if we had of that. Bijol, 2-1 to Leeds, straight from the corner. Just like his header against Chelsea in real life, Bijol at the near post. And it's 2-1 to Leeds United. Oh, and here come Palace and Malo Gusto. Chips in, that's got to be keeper's ball. It is, well done, Perry. No, Mateta shots. Yes, he's gone wide. Oh my God. And that would be full time. An outstanding away performance results in a vital 3 points. So we have arrived at the end of season number 2, and it's a 10th place finish for Leeds United, which is a fantastic season for us. Only 9 losses in 38 games, which is really impressive. 65 goals scored as well. Massive steps in the right direction for Leeds. Not bad what a few unrealistic signings can do, is it? Now in the FA Cup, we would only reach the 4th round and lose to Hull City 1-0, which is really poor. However, our team has shown a lot of growth this season. Especially happy to see our punt on Mateo Joseph has worked, as he's now 80 rated. I have singled out 2 positions that I want to make improvements in next season. That's going to be right-sided centre-half and a new CDM to replace club captain Ampadu, whose growth has started to slow down ever so slightly. Hopefully, we'll get another good transfer budget so we can make 2 unrealistic signings. We get a small budget though, I'll probably be happy to just bring a right-sided centre-half in. Now, in terms of stats this season, Noah Okafor was our best player, getting 14 goals and 6 assists. Ruter and Semenyo did score quite a few goals as well. They really improved the team. And I just want to show you something, boys. Lucas Perry scored a goal in the Premier League this season, which I've never seen before. He must have got a last-minute equaliser from a corner or something. So we have now arrived in season 3, and we've got a £54 million transfer budget, which, to be honest, is a good budget. We should be able to make the team significantly stronger with these funds. And a new centre-back joins us for the start of season 3 as we complete the signing of Abdakir Kusanov from Manchester City of £35 million. He is 23-year-old, 81 rated, right-footed centre-half with really progressive stats. Do I think this is a realistic signing? No, I don't think Leeds could sign Kusanov from Manchester City. Just given the fact at this moment in time City invested a lot of money into him. He is one of the highest potential centre-backs in world football in real life. However, a few seasons down the line in FC 26, I definitely think you could sign him. But as of right now, I think this is an unrealistic signing for Leeds. What do you guys think though? I'm always intrigued to hear your opinions down below in the comment section. However, we are now left with just 15 million, and I'm not really sure we're going to be able to make another signing, especially one that comes in and improves our starting 11. So it's actually been, in truth, a very quiet transfer window. We've had 1 incoming and 0 outgoings. Kusanov is the only new signing. I've no idea how to pronounce his name, to be honest. players. I've heard people call him Kusanov, I've heard people call him Kusanov, so I'm probably going to bounce between the pronunciations because you know what I'm like. Meaning there's only one change to our starting 11, but I am really happy with how this team is looking going into the new season. We've got a solid defence, a really exciting attack, and 2 decent CDMs in Stack and Ampadu. However, next season, when we get more money, I will probably be looking to remove Ampadu from the starting 11. I'm going to lock the team in for the new season, keeping things short and sweet. When it comes to youth scouting for this season, I'm going to scout England. We've always got to scout the horse nation. And I'm going to look for goalkeepers in England because we've got Perry and Mesley out at the club. None of them really have extremely good potential, and Perry's almost 30. But other than that, boys, I'm sorry to say there's nothing else we can really do in the off season. We're just going to simulate forward straight through to the end of season 3. Hopefully we can improve on a 10th place finish and see some really significant growth from our starting 11. That would do me nicely. So we have arrived at the end of the season, and it's a 7th place finish for Leeds United, which I think's actually really solid. 18 wins, but a whopping 15 losses. 59 points accumulated, and we may even have European football next season. If any of the top 6 you can see on the screen at the minute have won a domestic trophy in England, we will have European football. And well, would you look at that, Liverpool win the FA Cup, but Bristol City win the Carabao, beating Man City in the final. But the team we are taking into season 4 is now starting to look pretty strong on paper. However, there are positions that I want to improve. I do want to bring in a new CDM, but it will not be for Ethan Ampadu, as Anton Stack has handed in a transfer request. He's 82 rated, 29-year-old. I've no idea why he wants to leave. We're not going to force him to stick around. We're going to sell him and bring in a replacement. And I'd also like a new centre-back to replace Bijol, who's 29-year-old, 80 rated, won't get much better. CDM, centre-back, top priorities. Hopefully we get a massive budget. We are also saying goodbye to Dominic Calvert-Lewin, whose contract was expiring and he's heading over to France. And in terms of stats this season, Antoine Semenyo was our best player, getting 16 goals and 6 assists. Mateo Joseph chipped in with 13 goals and 2 assists, and Mecha and Okafor getting 9 goals. I would like to add some more goals throughout the rest of the team. Hopefully this will come next season. So we've arrived in season number 4. We've got 59 million in the bank, plus the money we're going to get from selling Anton Stack. We have also got quite a few first teamers out of contracts at the end of the season, and all these players are showing no signs of wanting a new deal. Would leave us a little bit light. So we have wasted no time in bringing a new CDM to the club, and this is by far our most unrealistic signing today, as Adam Wharton joins Leeds United for 44 million. He is 24-year-old, 85 rated, ridiculous stats. If he's leaving Crystal Palace to go anywhere, it's to the likes of Man City or PSG. The guy's an absolute baller. Definitely an unrealistic signing, leaving us with just 10 million in the bank. But we are looking to sell Anton Stack, maybe even a few players who won't renew deals, and we still need to bring a new centre-back to the club as well. And after the incoming of Wharton, we've sold a few players as well. All players who had handed in transfer requests have been sold, so Maximilian Warber, Stack, Goodmanson, James and Bono all sold, and we've raised quite a bit of money, as we now have 74 million pounds in the bank. We're going to be looking to sign a new first choice centre-back, and then we'll need a few rotation players for the bench. And a new centre-back signing has also been acquired, as Konstantinias Kouliarakis joins us from Wolfsburg for 34 million pounds. He is 24 years old, 82 rated, with really progressive stats. Is it an unrealistic signing? Well, I do think it is at the minute, but in a few seasons time it probably wouldn't be, as I'd expect a player of his calibre to go to a Champions League club, which we obviously are not. Let me know in the comment section down below, boys, do you think this is an unrealistic signing? I am leaning towards the side that it probably is. Now, after the incomings of Wharton and Kouliarakis, the left-hand side of our team is looking much stronger. It also allows us to put Branthwaite into the middle of our back three. I do think the team we're taking into the new season is very strong. We've got young players who are still growing as well. Obviously, we're not a world-class team yet, but it is ticking along. We've also got a pretty decent bench as well to take into the new season. So our goal for this season is simple: get into Europe. And we're now going to simulate forward straight through to the end of the season and see if we can do so. So we have arrived at the end of the season, and we have finished 3rd in the Premier League, securing Champions League football for season number 5. We finished on 70 points, joint 2nd. Our lack of goals cost us a 2nd place finish, as Manchester City win the league, and European football is finally coming to Ellen Road. And so is the FA Cup trophy. We've beat Spurs 5-1 to win the FA Cup. That is an FA Cup trophy added to our trophy cabinet, capping off an amazing season. And this is how the FA Cup champions are looking on paper. And one thing that that instantly jumps out to me is how strong our back three actually is. But we do need to invest some money into the midfield. I'm going to be looking for a new left mid and CDM to replace Nyonto and Ampadu, who will drop down and be rotation players. We may also have to bring in a backup striker because Pirro and Mecha have handed in transfer requests. So hopefully a nice big budget to complement Champions League football and an FA Cup trophy. Now at the end of the season, we're losing Sean Longstaff and Joe Rodon, as both players did not want to sign new deals. And in terms of stats, Mateo Joseph was our best player, getting 20 goals. He had a great season. Okafor, Semenyo and Ruta all had decent seasons as well. So we have now arrived in season 5 and we have got a whopping 150 million to improve our team. And now that we're a Champions League club, it is going to be hard to make extremely unrealistic signings, but I will try my best. And our first signing of season number 5 is a really special one, as we re-sign Archie Gray from Tottenham Hotspur of 35 million. He is 23 years old and 83 rated, can play a multitude of positions and has got really well-rounded stats. I think this is on the fence of being a realistic / unrealistic signing. Would Gray be open to a move back to Leeds if they were in the Champions League? I actually think so. But then another side of me says maybe by the time Gray's 23 he might move on to a bigger club than Tottenham. But then the other half of me says that maybe he's already had one challenge at Leeds. Would he like to go somewhere else and progress his career elsewhere? I'm not too sure. I'm a bit on the fence with this one. But this next signing is absolutely unrealistic, as we sign one of the best wingers in world football, Antonio Nusa from Inter Milan, and he signs for £80 million. 86 rated, 24-year-old, an absolute beast. I think even for a Champions League club, you wouldn't really have much chance signing Nusa. He's going to someone like PSG or Man City, not Leeds United, so it's definitely an unrealistic signing. And these two signings now leave us with just 25 million in the bank, so we may struggle to bring in a backup striker. Now, we've also signed our first free agent of the rebuild. Now, I know what you're thinking. Free agent signings on a whole usually aren't unrealistic, but we have signed Tosin Adebayo, who is 31-year-old, 80 rated, 6'6", and a former Chelsea player. Now, that is key. Leeds and Chelsea have a massive heated rivalry, and do I think Leeds fans would react positively to signing a former Chelsea player? Absolutely not. So for that reason, I'm going to call this signing unrealistic. However, if this was for any other Premier League club, it probably would be a realistic signing. Now, we've also had 3 sales to players who have all rejected new contracts and want to leave the club. Ilya Gruev, Joel Pirro and Lucas and Mecha have all been sold, raising around 30 million. We now have 53 million in the bank, but we need to use this money to sign 2 backup strikers and somehow keep the signings unrealistic. And we have made 2 further signings, 2 backup strikers. We did sign Randall Colomawani from PSG for £20 million. He's 82 rated, 30-year-old, really decent stats, probably still can do a really good job from the bench. Is it an unrealistic signing? I'm a bit 50-50 on, I'm not too sure. But this one I definitely think is unrealistic. We have signed Harry Kane from Bayern Munich for 24 million. 35-year-old, 80 rated, but wait for this, 16 pace. He is literally a fridge. It's like having a fridge up front. Do I think Harry Kane would join Leeds? No, I don't, to be honest. I think he's going to retire at Bayern Munich, so I think this signing is unrealistic. But we now only have £1 million in the bank, and we do actually have some contracts to renew this season, so we won't be signing anyone else. And I think our starting 11 is starting to look really strong on paper. We've got a few players flirting with 90 rated. Our bench is stacked as well. Very strong bench. I'm going to lock the starting 11 in for the new season. There definitely won't be any more signings, so we may as well just simulate forward straight through to the end of the season, see how we get on in the Champions League. Hopefully we can win even more trophies. So we have arrived at the end of season number 5, and we have actually won the Premier League on goal difference, beating our arch rivals Chelsea to the title. Now, we actually won, drew and lost the same amount of games as Chelsea, but we scored 20 more goals, which ultimately give us the league title, and Leeds United are the champions of England. That is a Premier League trophy added to our trophy cabinet. And we'd also be in the Community Shield this season, but we unfortunately lost on penalties to Man City, and we couldn't defend the FA Cup, lost in the 3rd round to Watford 2-1. That is a really poor result in what's been an excellent season, and we have got the chance to make an amazing season, a legendary season, as we are taking on PSG in the Champions League final. Feels like it's been ages since we played PSG in a final on this channel. Now, in the league phase, we finished 4th out of all the sides on 17 points, meaning we went straight to the round of 16, where we had a relatively relatively easy tie against Nice from France, who we beat 6-2. We would then take on Juventus and beat them 4-2 over 2 legs, setting up a semi-final with AC Milan, who we beat 3-2 over 2 legs, ultimately setting up a final against PSG, and we know their team is going to be very strong. Now, our team is looking strong as well. No one in the starting 11's below 85 rated, but unfortunately, we don't actually have a 90 rated player in the squad, and our team is very fatigued going into the final. What I am really impressed with, though, is our back 3 and 2 CDMs look really solid. There's actually no weakness in our starting 11 at all. Now, in terms of stats, Ruta was our best player this season, getting 26 goals and 16 assists. Mateo Joseph, Okafor, Semenyo and Kulu Muane all got double figures for goals. Now, when it comes to picking a Hall of Famer for this rebuild, it is actually a very difficult decision because there's been so many good performers throughout this rebuild, but I'm going to give it to someone who scored 20 goals in consecutive seasons, and that is Mateo Joseph. 23 goals and 3 assists this season. He got 20 goals last season, helping us get to the Champions League. So for that reason, Mateo Joseph is the Hall of Famer for the Leeds rebuild. And now all that is left to do in this rebuild is to take on PSG in the Champions League final. Can we add a Champions League trophy to the trophy cabinet? So before we get into the final, let's check the PSG team. I can already tell it's going to be amazing. Multiple 90 rated players all the way through the team. The lowest rated player is David Rom, 83 rated. Significantly better than ours, so we are the underdogs. So the game is now on the way. The Olympic Stadion is the host. Semenyo could have a shooting chance here from distance over the bar. First shot of the game, 10 minutes in. Little bit encouraging just to get a shot away early on. Mbappe for PSG. Oh no, this could be a chance for Mayulu. Good save by Perry, but the rebound is put wide by Kvaratskhelia. Oh, we should be losing this game. That is a massive chance for PSG. Ruta. Semenyo. Shoot, saved. Falls to Joseph. What a block. Wharton. Good ball. Nusa. Across the box. Okafor, what a save. Oh my god. Shot. Easy save by Perry. That's going to be half-time. 0-0. Both teams should easily have at least 1 goal. In a really entertaining final. Hopefully some goals will follow in the second half. Win the header. Nice. Good flick on by Okafor. This could be a big chance. Nusa's got the pace. He's got the pace. He's going to shoot. And it's 1-0 to Leeds United. Antonio Nusa with a goal. And that all comes from a vital flick on from Okafor. Mbappe could be in here. And a 14. That's a great save by Perry. Straight at him. Had to be alert. Dubois shoots. Oh my god, Bramthwaite, man. 70 on the clock. We're still 1-0 up, but PSG are piling on the press. That's a good tackle by Kouliarakis. Give the ball away in a bad position here. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Perry, I need you. Perry. Get in there, Perry. And there is the full-time whistle, lads. We have beaten PSG, and Leeds United are the champions of Europe. And an Antonio Nusa goal is the difference. And all that is left to do is to lift the Champions League trophy, and Leeds United are the champions of Europe. And that is another rebuild successfully boxed off. So just want to say a massive thank you for watching the video, boys. If you have enjoyed it, please be sure to like and subscribe. It does really help me out. We're trying to get to 10,000 subscribers. And I will see you in the next one when we head back over to Scotland.